Hey guys, what's going on? So, do any of you ever get that feeling where you're kind of stuck in a rut, you're not making progress? Something always seems to come along that stalls your progress, stops your progress, even knocks you back a few pegs. Maybe you get a nagging injury, you're waking up in the morning, I just don't have any motivation, or you wake up and the motivation's there, and then 2 hours later it's completely gone. You've been stuck. If you're working out, you've been stuck in the same spot for a long time. You feel like you're not making any headway with what you're doing. If any of that does ring true, just know you're not special. It just means that you're human, right? Because each and every one of us goes through this stuff at one point or another. At one time or another, we're going to go through it. So naturally, we're going to start getting frustrated when this stuff happens, and it tends to make the situation even worse. Because then we just dig ourselves deeper and deeper into this hole. And then the only silver lining out of that situation is that at that point, we have no place to go but up. So I wanted to address today, actually, a comment that was left on one of my videos. I did a workout a while back. It was a bench press video where I did some bench pressing. And one of our subscribers, TM, left a comment. And he says, I don't understand why I'm 43 and I can't lift anything, even semi-heavy, without getting injured. I warm up thoroughly and I'm trying to figure this out, but I'm getting nowhere. So obviously TM is a little frustrated. I don't know exactly. He doesn't expand on exactly what he's doing. I don't know if he was trying the bench press. Again, that was a bench press video that I was doing. I don't know, or he was doing any other lift or whatever he's doing, but it sounds like there's some real frustration setting in there. And I get it. You know, like I said, each and every one of us feels frustration at some point, especially when it comes to our health and fitness journey. So, I mean, personally, I look back over the years and I've had countless injuries, countless. I can remember back in the day when I got my first back injury. I hurt my back, I hurt my lower back, and for years and years, and to this day, I still feel it. You know, it runs the gamut, anywhere from just stiffness all the way up to being completely incapacitated for a few days. I've had the knee issue. I tore my lat muscle at some point. I was out of commission for about 6 or 7 months with my back. I can remember back in the day falling, hurting my wrist. That lingered for years. As I sit here talking to you, I'm having issues with both my elbows. So, you know, I'm a complete mess. And it is aggravating. You know, I sit here, I get pissed off, I get aggravated, and I have this why me attitude. Why does this stuff have to happen to me? Why does it have to derail me? But something always happens to put things in perspective, right? And about 2 weeks ago, I was at the gym. And speaking of the bench press, I saw a guy on the bench press, and he had 225 on there, and he was moving it pretty easily. And I figured he was about my age, give or take. And he was doing pretty well on the bench, and then he got up and he was moving around the gym. He was doing some other things. We struck up a conversation, and it turns out that this guy was at the gym, and he had just come from the hospital. He was at the hospital about 3 hours prior getting a cancer treatment. He was getting chemotherapy. And after chemotherapy, he came to the gym and started bench pressing and doing dips and doing whatever else he was doing. So it was at that point that I realized that my elbows are certainly a non-issue. So everything, guys, in life is relative. And each and every one of us looks at things in a different way. I could look at my elbow issues and say, I shouldn't be working out. I don't think I can't work out. I have these elbow issues. And then you have this gentleman who's every bit of 60 years old who leaves the hospital after getting chemo, and his first thought is, let me go bench press. So what is it about a guy like that that keeps him moving? What is it about him that makes him keep going? Has he been building his self-discipline through all these years, and now it's going to pull him through something like this or keep him going when most people would be home curled up in a ball? And conversely, we have people that'll stub their big toe and use that as an excuse not to work out that day. And unfortunately, when we do have some momentum going when it comes to our health and fitness journey, it's a universal law for all of us, right? It's always going to be one step up and then 2 or 3 steps back. So it's imperative that we keep moving, that we make it a part of our life, that it's ingrained in us, that we don't do it as an afterthought or gee, I hope I have time to work out today. That shouldn't be the mindset. The mindset should be working out, taking care of my body, staying healthy is a part of my life. It's just what I do every day. Now, getting back to TM, he says every time he tries to lift something that's semi-heavy, he injures himself. Well, in that case, again, I don't know his complete circumstance, but right then and there, we have to go back to the basics. What exactly are you doing? Are you warming up correctly? Are you using proper technique on any type of whatever exercise or whatever lift that you're doing? Are you using the proper principles like progressive overload, right? We all have a different starting point. We can't look at somebody else and say, well, that guy's my age or that guy's my size. He could lift this, so I should be able to lift that, so that's where I'm going to start. You have to gauge it for yourself. You have to learn your own body. You find your starting point and you progress from there gradually. There's no place for ego lifting when it comes to any of this stuff. You have to be smart. Another huge part of the whole process is your consistency. Are you being consistent? Are you doing this on a consistent basis, or are you just going in, hey, I'm going to work out today, and then you push yourself as far as you can for an hour or two, and then you come back and you go back and you don't work out for another week or two, and then you try it again. It has to be consistent. You have to set a schedule that's going to be sustainable within the time frame of your lifestyle. And these are all things that you have to work on. You're not going to wake up one day and just change everything overnight, but it's things that you work on. And it helps you build that self-discipline over time. And every time you do it, every time you hit that streak where you've been working out for X amount of time and you start seeing progress, it's a mental boost. Every time you have a little success, it's going to add to your self-esteem. It's going to build up that self-discipline. And that's what's going to build the drive to keep you going. And as you build that self-discipline, you're not going to be relying on motivation. But motivation is very fickle. Motivation isn't loyal at all. It'll be there today. It'll be there at 8 o'clock in the morning. And by 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, it's completely gone. It's the self-discipline that's always going to keep you driving, to keep you moving forward. Discipline is doing what you hate to do, but doing it like you love it, right? It's the discipline. It's not the motivation that's going to keep you doing that. It's always going to be the discipline. And the more self-discipline you have, the less apt you're going to be to have that defeatist attitude, to just every time something negative happens to let it derail you. So getting back to our friend TM, again, I don't know the exact circumstance, what his starting point is, but we all get frustrated. We all have setbacks, right? We all lose motivation. We're all working each and every day to build our self-discipline. In that sense, we're the same. But in another sense, we're all different. We all have a different starting point. We all have different strong points. We all have different weak points. We all react to exercise differently. We react to different foods differently. You have to find what works for you. You have to put the time in. The information is there, especially today. You have a phone in your hand. You have the knowledge of the world in your hand, right? It's all right there. YouTube University is one of the best learning institutions on earth right now. But don't think anything's going to change in a day. It has to be a complete lifestyle change. You have to be committed to it. Stay focused, stay consistent, stay disciplined, and always, always, always prioritize your health and fitness, because that's all that matters in the end, guys. I'm going to leave it at that. I appreciate you guys being here and listening to me. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, make sure you get your reps in, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Thanks, guys.